Whether it comes to sexual assault or even a long-term relationship, someone who is potentially harmful to you will show some warning signs.
In terms of sexual assault, the following traits should send up a red flag.
One red flag doesn't necessarily make someone abusive, but even one is worth noting. And if you see several red flags, it might be wise to move on. Red flag behaviors include
someone who talks over you or doesn't really listen to your point of view. If they talk over you about something simple, will they talk over you when you say you don't want to do something sexual? Someone who's particularly argumentative. If they argue about everything, will they argue about sex?
Someone who doesn't follow other rules or show respect for other people. If they don't respect rules, will they respect sexual boundaries? Someone who is exchange-oriented, as in expecting certain things from you for doing certain things for you. What might they be expecting from walking you home or buying you a drink? Someone who seems like a real player, who defines himself or herself by sexual conquests. This next characteristic gets 2 red flags. Anyone who is intoxicated or high on any drug, as that makes effective communication much more difficult.
And finally, you should view anyone who displays any kind of violent tendencies as covered in flags. Never associate yourself with anyone violent.
We tried to make it a serious relationship, and since it was my first big relationship, I think I tried to hang on to it a little bit too much. The jealousy kind of started when I was working a lot. I was working, and he would call after work if I was late, maybe 10 minutes. Coming home to the apartment, he would never trust me. He was very forceful and trying to push me to do extra work, always belittling me, telling me I'm not good enough. All of my friends were telling me, to break up with him, that I wasn't being treated right, but I just kept believing him and going back to what, just believing that he kept saying he wouldn't put his hands on me again, or he wouldn't, do certain things, and it just kept getting worse. Hard. Like, I could barely study, go to class. I think I skipped class for, just to get a break from him, really. Just to go, get away. Being, like, abused by a guy and being, a guy, you feel like you almost feel ashamed to go to the police and say that you're scared of this guy because, guys are supposed to be tough. And now I never saw it coming that I would end up in a situation like that.